The 120 Days of Sodom by Marquis de Sade. This book is considered one of the most horrifying, grotesque, and revolting in history. In a remote castle isolated from the outside world, 4 powerful men decide to fulfill their darkest fantasies. They gather young men and women to serve as victims of unspeakable torture and perversion. Each page challenges your endurance as though the author is daring you to keep reading. The most disturbing part is that this isn't just a tale of violence, but a philosophical manifesto that presents cruelty as an art form. It's no wonder the book has been banned nearly everywhere. The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. This book sparked a religious controversy and changed lives forever. It tells the story of 2 men who survive a plane crash and begin to transform, one into an angel, the other into a demon. At its core, the novel reinterprets religious texts, particularly those related to Islam. For some, it was an intellectual challenge. For others, it was blasphemy. The book faced opposition from governments and clergy alike. Its author was threatened with death, and some translators and publishers were attacked. This is not just a novel, it's a testament to how art can terrify and provoke. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. On a windswept moor where the sky always seems dark and stormy stands a house. Wuthering Heights. This house hides the curse of love, turned into hatred. Heathcliff, an adopted son, is consumed by passion for Catherine, the daughter of the house's owners. Their feelings were so intense that their love transformed into a destructive force. Catherine married another man, and Heathcliff dedicated his life to vengeance. Death, madness, and darkness followed his path. Each step of this tale is like a lightning strike, powerful, terrifying, and inevitable. The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. Would you agree to care for children in an isolated old estate? A young governess was happy at first, until she started noticing strange things. At first, it was just distant glances, shadows in the windows, faces behind the trees. The children whispered about someone they had seen, but those people were believed to have been dead for years. The more she discovered, the less she trusted her own mind. Were these truly ghosts, or was her sanity unraveling under the weight of solitude and fear? The Shining by Stephen King. Winter. A massive hotel, the Overlook, closed to guests, becomes a temporary home for the Torrance family. Jack, the father, dreams of writing a novel, but the hotel has other plans. It speaks to him through terrifying visions. At first, Jack sees ghosts. Soon, they whisper to him about murdering his family. His son Danny is the only one who senses the evil coursing through the hotel. Will the boy, with his gift of shining, be able to save his family from the clutches of a building that is alive and thirsty for blood? American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Patrick Bateman is the ideal Manhattanite. He has a perfect suit, a stylish apartment, and a dazzling smile. But behind the closed doors of his world hides a monster. He coldly kills, masking his crimes behind his persona of perfection. The most terrifying thing about Patrick isn't his brutality, but his complete lack of emotion. He feels no guilt. Every day is a new performance where he is both actor, director, and executioner. The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Little Regan begins to act strangely. Objects move around her. Her voice grows unnaturally deep, and her eyes fill with hatred. Desperate, her mother turns to Father Karras, a priest struggling with his own faltering faith. The demon possessing the girl doesn't just threaten her life, it toys with the souls of those trying to save her. The exorcism becomes a brutal battle where the stakes are not only the girl's life, but the priest's very faith. Misery by Stephen King. Paul Sheldon was a successful writer until an accident left him at the mercy of Annie Wilkes, his #1 fan. But Annie is not just a devoted reader. She is mentally unstable. She keeps Paul captive in her home, forcing him to rewrite the ending of her favorite book. Each act of kindness she offers turns into a new nightmare for Paul. His only chance for survival is to outwit Annie and escape before she takes things too far. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Dr. Victor Frankenstein dreamed of conquering death. He pieced together body parts from the deceased to create a being, but instead of scientific triumph, he unleashed tragedy. His creation was alive, intelligent, yet grotesque. It longed for love and acceptance, but received only fear and hatred. Enraged, the monster sought revenge on its creator, destroying everything Victor held dear. This story is a grim reminder of the lengths humans might go to in their quest for power over nature. The Rats by James Herbert. Panic sweeps the city. People are disappearing, leaving behind only blood and gnaw marks. It turns out the city has been overrun by giant rats. They don't fear humans. They hunt them. Tearing through flesh, they turn the city into a battlefield. But the most terrifying part of this nightmare isn't the rats. It's the figure that commands them. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski. A young family moves into their dream home, but soon they discover something is wrong. The house is larger inside than outside. Its hallways stretch endlessly, its rooms shift positions, and an infinite labyrinth emerges. The story is told through discovered journals, and the act of reading itself feels like wandering through the house, confusing and horrifying. The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. Dr. Faraday visits a crumbling manor to treat its inhabitants, a family that once lived in luxury but is now drowning in poverty. The house is slowly falling apart, but with it awakens its dark secrets. Whispers in empty rooms, sudden breakdowns, and mysterious accidents seem more than coincidence. This house seems alive and unwilling to let its occupants go.